relax. The show will begin shortly. While we wait, please share the link to somebody you know. Thank you. Welcome to Your Voice, Your Impact, where we amplify your voice for impact. Sit back, relax. The show will begin shortly. While we wait, please share the link to somebody you know. Thank you. Welcome to Your Voice, Your Impact, where we amplify your voice for impact. Sit back, relax. The show will begin shortly. While we wait, please share the link to somebody you know. Thank you. Nicole O'Neill once said, "When you find the courage to use your voice, it has the power to positively inspire and change the lives of others. It is one of the special gifts you have to offer the world. It is something to be cherished and championed, never hidden." And that is why we are here on Your Voice, Your Impact. I am the energetic EJ. I am a life and transformational coach, and I work with women aged 40 and above to turn their abandoned dreams into achievable goals by activating their voice for impact. I'm also a podcaster and an event host. On this show with me is
great, so amazing. The goal of this show is to help people use their voices to create impact. I am a physicist and a life coach. What I do for my clients is I help them build systems to achieve their goals whilst having fun doing it. On this show, we discuss topical issues that can inspire you to move. Like, subscribe, and share. Welcome aboard.
like, share, subscribe, and welcome to Your Voice, Your Impact. Again, this week, I would like to kick off the session by reminding you that we have a prize to be won. Last week, the sponsor of our episode gave us a huge slot in this program by Present Right Academy, which is practice, speak, repeat. And the goal is to help you harness and fine-tune your speaking prowess. The Practice, Speak, Repeat program is a 12-week long online coaching program where you get the opportunity to practice your public speaking once a week, get feedback from a professional, and eventually develop the confidence to speak like a CEO. The Practice, Speak, Repeat programs allows you to focus on what is important, which is practicing over time. It also shows you how to structure and design amazing content as well as deliver presentations like a pro. Again, it's 12 weeks, it's online, which means you can connect with this from any part of the world. And this course, this program is worth 350,000 naira, which is $200 plus. And Present Right Academy has gifted one of our audience a free slot. But to get this free slot, you've got to show that you really want it. And how do you do that? Follow Your Voice, Your Impact show on Instagram, as well as Public Speaking for Women on Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Create a 1-minute video telling us why you should be the lucky winner for this program, and send it to voiceimpactm@gmail.com on or before November 30th. All entries will be posted on our IG page starting on December 1st. And on December 16th, we're going to announce our winner. So all you need to do once we post your video from December 1st through to the December 16th, you're going to tag your friends, tag your family to engage with your content, and the person with more content and the more convincing reason why they should win the slot gets the slot. So may the most committed person win. Thank you for joining us again today, and special shout out to dear sponsor, Present Right Academy. The visionary behind that is the beautiful, delectable Adeola Babatunde. All right, thank you so much and welcome to the show today. Hello, hello. Welcome to the show. I hope you're well. There's this song that we used to sing when I was a kid, just like I think it was maybe on the assembly ground, and we always say, "Hello, everybody. Hope you're feeling fine. Hello, everybody. Hope you're feeling. Hope you're feeling fine." So I hope you are feeling fine. And over the weekend, I wasn't feeling fine at all. Like, so it's a miracle I'm here today. So I'm just going to bring on Grace. Maybe Grace is going to give us something that will make us say, "Oh, what a wonderful weekend." But I'm grateful that I'm here and I can speak, and I can just do this right now. So I'm grateful, grateful, grateful. Hello, Gracie. Gracie, how are you? How are you? How are you today? How are you today? Where is Gracie? She's supposed to be on the screen. I cannot see her on the screen. Hello, Gracie. Can you hear me? Okay, so I think Gracie is having some network issues right there. We are going to wait for her to get back into the studio and we'll take it away. But thank you for joining us on the show today. I hope that your week has been good. And I hope that so far in the month of November that you've been enjoying the series that we're on, which is basically celebrating men, talking about men, having men conversation, bringing men on the show to talk about, what they're thinking, what they're going through, what their solutions are for things that they feel like these are needed in this season. And by the way, tomorrow is November the 19th, which is the day that has been set aside for celebrating International Men's Day. Woohoo! Okay, so we are kicking off the celebration today because we won't be here tomorrow. So I'm just going to leave this up here for a moment to say Happy International Men's Day to all the men in the world. If you are a man and you are proud of it, I need you to beat your chest and say, "Yes, I'm a man. 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 I'm a man." I am not. I'm just helping you sing, all right? Maybe I should have used my main voice. I'm a man. 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 Anyways, congratulations to all men. Happy International Men's Day tomorrow, November the 19th. Is the day set aside to celebrate men. And honestly, we do celebrate you. I have had my friends, some of my male friends come to me to say, "You know what, all this thing that you're doing, on your show, I hope it's not just going to end, with November. November ends and then that's it. We don't hear anything about men anymore." And I was like, I don't know how to convince you, but honestly, it's not going to end here. And November, yes, as is been the month that has been separate, set aside to celebrate men, but I think men should be celebrated every day of the year, just as we celebrate women as well. And that's the goal here. So we're just kickstarting this movement to say, you know what? Men, we see you, we hear you, we love you, we honor you. All right. And so happy International Men's Day. So tomorrow, enjoy yourself. Please take yourself out. I know we should take you out too, right? Okay. I'll think, I don't know, if you're happy about it, I can take you out. Just give, give me a call. Gracie, are you here? I don't
Right here,
know,
right here.
I don't know what happened to your video earlier on. Okay, fantastic, you're back, welcome. Yes, how are you doing today? Tomorrow is International Men's Day. What do you want to say to men folks out there?
Shout out to all the amazing men. See what we did for you guys. You don't always you always say that you people don't care about us. Always women, women, women. We dedicated this month, this entire November to celebrate you. And it's not even about the month. We can keep celebrating you. But specifically, we want to say shout out to you. Like Ejiro rightly said, we see you. And there's something I always say that enough of the fight. We cannot do without each other. We cannot do without each other. We complement each other. And that's why we are very happy for you guys. And
specifically to men that are struggling, trying to find that space to be relevant. We are using our voices to remind you and to let you know that, look, we see you and we know that you're there doing what you have to do, and we celebrate you and we love you and we'll keep pushing and rooting for you. We will not be here tomorrow to say happy International Men's Day, so we're doing that right now, and hopefully on all our social media handles we're going to make sure that we reiterate it, we say it, and we just celebrate you. You deserve it. Shout out to all the
Absolutely.
men out there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Shout out to all the men out there. We celebrate you. Happy International Men's Day. I mean, if we, yeah, would celebrate you the way we can, the men in our lives, any man you see, just hug him, okay? Hug a man. Hashtag hug a man today.
Make it four per hug. When you're hugging, make it you hug him deeply, like, oh, like you'd do a baby. Like another
Mm.
one, make sure 4 times.
Oh my God. You're gonna make me cry. I'm not even a man.
We're going to hug AQ when he
I
comes.
know, right?
We're going to hug him. We're going to
I'm
give him a
gonna give
virtual hug.
AK a virtual hug today. We'll finish you with hug today. All right. So going right into our conversation for the day, we are talking to a friend, a brother from another mother, all the way from another continent right now at the moment as I speak. So we're three continents here today. He's connecting all the way from the UK. I'm in the UAE, and my sister Gracia is in Nigeria. Today we're speaking to AQ Ali, who is a seasoned marketing professional and a certified personal and professional development coach with a passion for community development, with a particular focus on supporting Black men and Black boys to achieve their self-defined goals. And he has this framework that he wants to share with us. First time he shared it with me, I was like, whoa, this is good. This is good. And so today we're going to be looking into that, talking about knowing your alphabet, to guide your goals. And this is going to speak specifically to men, but of course, it's applicable to everyone. So without further ado, I have the pleasure of introducing and bringing on this virtual stage a friend and a brother, AQ Ali. Hello, 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 AQ Ali. How are you, brother?
Hi. Hello. What an introduction. I was listening to both of you. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you for that warm introduction.
You are welcome. Can you? Oh, yeah, yeah. Please help us still so they can be in the middle. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, welcome, welcome, welcome. I know it's freezing cold in the UK right now. Tell us a little bit about the weather.
Oh, that's one conversation I refuse to have with anybody. Refuse. Especially if we talk about mental health, let's go in straight. I can't control the weather. So if the conversation starts with something that's outside my control, you're already adding a list of things that are now going to give me anxiety. The weather is not one of them. It is what it is. It's in the UK, and it's cold. I would be wearing jumper if it wasn't for this interview in the house. So yeah.
Hmm.
So anything else, I'm open to. Weather, I can't control it.
I
I
love
have
that.
enough
I
bucket on
love
my
that.
list. I have enough bucket of things that I are within my control on my list, but that's just not one of them.
I love that. I love, yeah.
Just saying that alone is so big.
Honestly.
It's just a statement, like you're saying it, and that's where we need to be in cases where there are certain things that you cannot control
Yeah.
and you cannot do anything about it. However, let's hear it. However, you're able to control yourself right now. You got a muffler, you got something to keep you
Absolutely.
warm. Yeah. So and we're going to drive this conversation to the point where, as a man, as a human being, there are certain things
Yeah.
you're not able to control, some
Mm.
external variables, but there are certain things you can do to help you, sort of
Yeah.
regulate things. And I love we're going to have I can tell that we're going to have a very deep conversation.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely. Like, just
So
one line.
let me
Honestly, just
I
one
ask
line. That
questions
line.
for a living. Yeah, I ask questions for a living. So
Yeah.
I hope you're ready because I'm going to
Ah!
throw.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm loving this already. I'm loving this already. But honestly, I love this opening line that you opened with, AQ, which is there is no point trying to, like, what's the word now? Uh and I'm lost for words. But
no,
like
no.
just broaching on something you cannot control.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people are way more concerned about what they cannot control
Yeah.
than what they actually can.
And
You
how
might not.
you engage and how you engage with what you cannot control, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's a good place to start this conversation. I don't know what's going. Okay, so
You came
Gracie is
right
having
to the
some,
tunnel.
yeah,
Yeah.
network problem, but she'll join us
Uh,
soon. But I want you to start from there, like
okay.
unpack that, because for you to just like this was just a very trivial conversation, right?
Yeah.
But it was like it's like it's already in you, and that's like
Yeah.
almost it feels like that's something that you live by to say if I'm
Absolutely.
not able to control it, you know what, let's talk about something else. What can I do? So
Absolutely.
just help us unpack it some a little, the thought process behind this
Behind.
resolve.
Oh, definitely. I'll build on to that, but I want to move on to another important topic just following from that. But this is very important. For me, is clarity
Hmm.
and clarity and acceptance of what I'm clear about. The whole idea of living from inside out or outside in, that's a terminology that really flows around and has been around for a long time. We know that. Um, but how it applies to my life is I look up what's within my circle of control. What's within, what can I, if I do X, will I have an impact? And will that impact be positive, negative for me and awareness of others around me? But going back to me, because the awareness for others around me, again, I can only be considerate as far as I can, but really people control what impact you have on them in their own way, right?
Hmm.
So for me, it starts with what's within my circle of control. And it's not something that I practice every day. It's become normal to me now. And that's because I've gone through my own emotional instability, mental health, which really is around anxiety, stress, insomnia, and depression. Because
Hmm.
mental health, if we really have to go, and I'm not speaking as a doctor or as an expert in that field, neither am I speaking as a research expert. I'm speaking from my own lived experience and living experience. I'm 49. So one of the things that I can tell you, like this hair didn't leave me for nothing. This hair, so that means I've lived, like, you know what I mean? I've seen my share of the world. So, and with that, I mean, I've become clearer and clearer about what what's within my circle of control, what can I influence, and what can I impact. And again, us three being coaches, I mean, that was the paradigm shift for me in understanding the power of coaching and how I could apply it to my coach. Because remember, one of the things that we say is before you coach somebody, how well can you coach yourself? Right. And that has been one of my biggest healing in terms of understanding my circle of control. So, and just to build on to the weather, there's nothing I can do about it. Zero in terms of changing the weather to my favor, right? So my job is to make sure that I live with that understanding, whether it's to go out and get like warmth and scarf and everything, or whether to stay in and not, you know what I mean, and not
Hmm.
like just have a cup of tea, whatever. So my understanding that it just releases me from the pressure of not feeling good enough, right? Because as a man and as a human being, everybody really, and I love what you said earlier. We see you, we hear you, we believe you. You know, but as a man and as every human being, you want to get everything right and to best of your ability. But there are certain things that are outside your control. Accepting that, as soon as you accept that, not the easy your life will be, how comfortable your life will be. Because life is never easy, right? It
Honestly.
might look easy, but you don't know what's going on with somebody's internal life or internal world. So yeah, so I hope that kind of
It does.
gives you some clarity around. And I'm sorry that we've lost Grace. She's having some
Yeah,
technical
she would
issues,
come
but
back. I don't know why he's having that. She's having that problem, but she'll be back.
she'll be
Right.
back.
Thank you so much. Thank you for just setting that tone and giving that. And I love when you talked about the process through which coaching
Yeah,
even got you here, and
yeah,
why you are now leveraging that same tool to
mm,
help other people get to that point of clarity and
yeah,
making the decisions and choosing or making choices that would actually help them in their
yeah.
lives as they go on along. So
Mm.
thank you for
Okay.
sharing that. Gracie, you're back. I hope it's not
Okay.
it's hope nothing is everything good over there.
Okay, so I don't know what the problem is,
Mhm.
and I'm not trying to figure that now that I'm about to have this conversation. So I'm making good use of alternative. I have an alternative gadget I'm using right now, and I'm hoping that it will help me, concentrate on this. The only problem I'm having with this particular device is I cannot hear you clearly. So I
Right,
might
It might bring the lateness.
get
Okay.
on
right.
another device to watch online whilst so it might be a delay. But before I go, I need to shout out to someone that acknowledged, because I was like, you guys should come and watch this. He's there.
Okay, good.
Right. Eromosele
Eromosele
Omofuma.
or more,
Thank
shout out to
you.
you. I celebrate you. Is one man that I celebrate. Well
Oh.
done. Thank you,
Wow.
Commando. Shout out. Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Eramosele Omofuma, for joining us today and for actually dropping a comment. We've been doing this show for
Mm.
over a year now, and I think it's just I know of just one particular man um on LinkedIn. I think he stopped over a while because I think he went away from LinkedIn for a while. But at the beginning stage, like every single week, he's there and he is conversing and he's joining the conversation. And he's like, oh my God, you ladies are doing so well. And it's so encouraging. I
Wow.
don't know. I'm not sure if it's a thing again because we cannot generalize.
Sure.
But often we see that it's almost like men find it a bit difficult to express, you know,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
that is either expressing how they are feeling or even uh, articulating feedback. Basically, that's the best I can put it.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's just get into this conversation because I'm
Okay.
like,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
do I
yeah.
start from with AQ? So, would you say,
So I,
with
I
your
wanted to
lived
interject.
experience as a man, with your
Mm.
lived experience as a man, what are some of the hardest challenges that you've seen that men truly go through?
Yeah,
That on the surface they wouldn't even notice that these things have like that backlog that comes back to become a backlog of mental health
absolutely.
challenges or issues or all of that. What are some of the things that you've noticed as we get deeper, and then you can let us know these alphabets that can actually help them?
Okay, good. I want to bring in one thing because all three of us are coaches, and one of the things that we do in coaching, whatever terminology you use, is what can I, what am I feeling right now? What
Mm,
and how can I be present for this situation? And what do I need out of this situation? So I think it's important as three coaches just to bring that practice in. And I think in my coaching academy, it was called commencement. In other parts of the world, it's called something else. Before coming on here, I was thinking, right, this is not the right place for the right lighting. I'm not sure. If I've got the cable, where do I put the cable? So because I'm operating from a place. I'm actually in my sister's house. So if it's not your place, it's quite, and I was like, okay. So I already came in nervous, and then watching you two, you kind of eased me off.
mm,
And I thought, right, and what impacts is it having on me? It's making me nervous about whether I'll perform in this interview. What can I do about it? I'm actually nothing other than being present. The situation is what it is. My job was to recognize it, but more importantly, My job is also to tell you both as the two coaches, but also as the guest, as much as we're friends, what is my current state at the moment. And at the moment was because everything that I wanted in place is not here. So therefore I've already came in nervous, and then you guys made me feel comfortable. And with that, I am grateful. And then you've asked me the conversation about the weather. That is linked to already what I was thinking. I'm already in another situation that I cannot control. And now you want to ask me about the weather? Goodbye. Like, goodbye. We're not doing that conversation. Like, no. And my no is very clear. So I wanted to bring that in. And then with Grace going through with her technical, all of this in real life, minute to minute, have an impact on us. All about it. Our life exists through interaction, even if it's with AI. You know what I mean? It's not, you don't live in silo. You don't live in silo unless you completely disconnected from the world. We keep saying lived experience, right? It is a living experience because I speak as a Black man who once was a Black boy. So as much as this is celebrating men's mental health, we also got to bring in our boys into it, because those boys, my nieces, my nephews, will be somebody's wife, somebody's girlfriend, somebody's father at some point, you know? So we've got to realize that I was also once a boy. And I am a big member of the Mums Club, because I was raised by my mother and she was also my father. But I am proud, and celebrate to be mummy's boy. And that is something that I think kind of nurtured me into this coaching and the life that I lead, because I was raised a lot more by a mother rather than my father died when I was 7. So that is where the whole shift came from. So my lived experience, a lot of it, I think it's because societal, right? But that's again putting the blame on others, but also cultural differences. We've got to bring that into context, because as a Black man, regardless of where you are, what differentiates us from every other man in the world is we've got a history of slavery, right? Through our ancestors. We've got history of colonization through our ancestors. So there's a generational trauma that we have grown into. One example, colonization stopped in the 60s. My mother was born into colonialism and died as a migrant. So you can just look at her chapter. Born into colonialism in the 40s. War happened in Somali, which is where I'm from originally and based in the UK. Migrated as a refugee. So she's only seen peace in her own country for a short period of time of like 12 years. The rest of her life died as a migrant. So that we carry a lot of generational trauma. And let's not pretend that it's years ago and shut up and let's not talk about, but the past really influences the present and shapes our future. So we've got to sort of put that into context, because this moment also will be a past after this interview that I will then use to shape my future, right? So we don't even have to go back as far as historical context. We can talk about this moment. What is this moment to me, and how does it shape my future? All of this is easy for me to say now because I had to go through my journey. And my journey really revolved around the time when all of my businesses failed, 2 of them. I was doing well professionally and I decided to be an entrepreneur. The first one failed and I was like, this one I'm going to do alone. I'm not doing it with anybody. Right? And it's the acceptance, like, oh my God. The other one I blamed on the group of people that I joined. This one, yeah, bro.
It's on you.
Yeah. And that realization, it wasn't days. That took 2 years. Because I still was trying to blame somebody else. And the awareness was one, but accepting was the difficult part. That, hold on, no, me? I'm responsible for this? No. Call EG. Ask her last week, Monday, what had happened in that meeting. EG was not there to answer the call. It was me that was in that meeting. So that awareness and the accountability and acceptance was the, which we're going to get into in a bit.
Hmm. Wow. I
So
like
I
how
think,
you just, yeah,
sorry, I just wanted to put it into
sum it up.
context. Into my journey, into my lived experience and living experience, because I'm still here, right?
Mm.
Sorry, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the journey you took us through just to answer that question from your own experiences. Because again, you can't speak for other people, but you can speak for yourself and, kind of taking a little bit of what you've seen in others, but still bringing it back. And I love the fact that, okay, at the end of the day, you still can't point fingers really. It doesn't help. Pointing fingers doesn't help in if you really want to get deep into the problem or the root cause of whatever it is that we're going through. Gracie, are you able to hear also? Is it still lagging?
Yeah, I'm using this. The thing is, can you hear me?
Yeah,
I
I can
can
hear you
see you,
clearly.
and I can see you
We're
both.
good to go.
Okay. Your own video
Okay.
is off though. AQ. AQ, your video is off. I don't know if it's yeah,
Oh no,
please
it's
check.
it's from my end. It's from my end.
Okay,
And
okay. All right. Gracie, go ahead, please.
Okay. You want it that way, or you want to bring back the video so we can get to see you, or you want it this way?
no, 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 no. I'm back on.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Yeah. So one very interesting thing that I've
I'm
come
back
to
on.
realize.
Just didn't have. Sorry, I'm
Good to
back
have
on.
you.
I told you I wasn't
Okay.
set up properly, right? So I didn't have the
Okay.
power cable plugged in.
Oh,
Ah,
I
okay, okay, okay,
see.
okay, okay. Cool, cool, cool.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I mean,
That's
I
And I
fine.
was
think that
like,
was that happened to me earlier, so I had I mean, my laptop went off,
Went off.
and
Ah, I
yes,
see.
and so but yeah, so I have this
right.
question for you, and then usually I liked the fact that you mentioned that you started the business and then it packed, and we started this month. We decided to touch on different things. We decided to talk about um okay, those are my people. Shout out to my commandos in the building. Bafi, I love you guys. I'm so happy. Thank you. Oh, guys, I love you so much. Thank you. All right, sorry.
That's all right.
This is so when you're talking about men
Mhm.
and what they struggle with. You mentioned about I recently I was having a conversation with someone and I asked that person that what is your greatest fear, and he said the fear of failing.
Yeah,
The fear of failing. And I'm like, okay, we talked about it, and then you just mentioning that when you started something and it packed up and you had to I want you to tell us the story around that what when that happened, what was it for you, and how were you able to get yourself back? Because for some people it might never happen. They might just be stuck there. And the fact that we're talking about everything and anything with regards to men, I'd
yeah,
love to hear you share some of the things, some practical things that you had to do to help you, deal with that failure, quote and unquote, that season in your life.
absolutely. Um, Thank you so much for sharing this slide. When I recognized that this that something was not all right within within my family or within my community, I saw my uncle cry one day, and not like deep cry, but just saw yeah, tears, emotional tears, and I went into a panic mode. I thought somebody died. I thought, oh my God, for him to cry, this is my uncle. Like, he doesn't cry. Somebody died. You know what? That day he was just missing his wife, who passed on.
Oh,
Now, for me not to give him that grace, like you were saying earlier, to say that, how come him grieving his wife or seeing him cry, I went into crisis mode.
Hmm.
I
mm,
was like, whoa. But didn't realize it until during my coaching session. I was like, that's what I did then. But at that time, when he told me, I was like, oh, uncle, and hugged him and moved on. But me thinking about that is what I wanted to bring in with this slide. because to see any of my elders, you've got to realize that we keep talking about intercultural differences, being growing up in the West and then being born in Africa, East, you know what I mean? East Africa. But there's also intergenerational. So the pain of the past can come from cultural differences, it can come from generational differences. And my uncle's pain never recognized it as an internal. I thought something happened. So that was a big aha moment for me. So recognizing the pain of the past and how that shapes you as an individual is very, very important. In me, I wanted to bring the example of my uncle because I didn't grow up with men who are showing emotions.
Mm.
So for me to show emotions was in public was very difficult. And if it was a situation where I was emotionally public, then it was within people that know me. Other than that, I just had to show that I've got this, right? And so it's the pain of the past is number one, and the fear of the future. And that future is control.
Mm.
Fear, because fear of failure is you want situation to be in your favor when it hasn't happened. Right? Because that future does not necessarily belong to you. But this is something that I now can explain a lot better than I could back in the days. And what's happened with me was I'm the youngest of five. First to be a university graduate, first to be international business, international professional person, and first to have his own business. So there was a lot on my shoulder that I was carrying. But who was I carrying it for? If I have to, who was I carrying it for? Because really and truly, after all of that, my family still love me and they don't. I was trying to control and maintain that image within my inner circle, within my family, and even within the world, really, of those third parties that I didn't connect with. So just me trying to control that was when the paradigm shift happened for me, because I didn't know how else to say I failed until the initial thing happened, which I told you the day that I realized, oh my God, it was me, nobody else. That's the second part. And again, I can tell you now I was speaking from my experience, best thing that ever happened to me was for those businesses to have closed.
To fail.
Yeah. Well, closed.
Close. Okay, I like
Closed.
that. Okay.
Yeah, because it didn't fail. It was just closed because it was not working. Because we associate failure with not good enough, right? It just was not for me. I am much more successful in what I'm doing now, but I had to learn from that. But it closed. It didn't fail. It just didn't go as well as I wanted it to go. And now that I know, the universe has taken me somewhere else. But that again takes a lot of accountability and self-acceptance to make that transition, because otherwise that pain can keep you stuck. And that is where we now have the situation that we have at global level, where suicidal rate is higher at global level in men than it is in women. And this is for the first time in history since I think they started doing the data capturing of suicide, I think in the early 1920s, I think they started recording, not quite sure, but around 1920s when they started recording data. Since then until now, we're talking about 20 years, 20 years for the first time where there is true gender gap within any part of the world. But within that gender gap, we've also got to realize there's a breakdown, right? Like when we say men, then which men? Which gender, which
race,
culture, which race? Because we do have different parts of the world where committing suicide, and I belong to that part of the world. Committing suicide, it's not something that is even an option, you know. So we end up being a life where I'm not fully present, like dead man walking,
Hmm.
because you cannot commit suicide based on your faith and cultural values. You know what I mean? But you've checked out of life,
Hmm.
right? So we've got that as well. So I don't know if I'm still answering your question, Grace, or if you're able to follow me with my thought process.
Gracie, are you still with us?
Yes, yes, yes. I
Okay.
mean, I needed to ask that question because some people are in that position right now and they're
Mm,
thinking to themselves that they're failures already just because, maybe something didn't work out.
Didn't
And
work.
then they probably take out the lesson or take out what they should take out. For every failure, there's always one lesson that you should learn that can help you move forward. So I love the fact that you were able to change that mindset around failure. That look, the world may target failure, but it is something that is going to help you get better at the next level. So thank
yeah.
you. You did answer the question.
Oh, you're welcome. And I also just wanted to build on one thing. Um, Again, the failure title, if we're talking about the world, again, we're talking about external, right? I want to bring it back to who's failing? You failing, the world failing, the village
Hmm.
failed, the community, who's failing? And who's waking up every day looking at your failures other than you? Like who wakes up every, I mean, unless you keep posting it on social media, that's another thing. So I think it's the positive control aspect that I really wanted to highlight because what we try to do as human, we want to we want to show up as a positive self, positive light, and make a good impression, be successful, be accepted, be celebrated, and everything else. But what we really are saying is, I want you to think of me this way, and I want you to see me this way. I want you to accept me that way, because only then will I get your approval. When
Hmm.
really and truly, you don't have a right to tell people what to do, feel, and think because they can
About you.
unlike you and like you tomorrow, and vice versa. So I think that was like a biggest aha moment for me when I realized that I am trying to control how other people see me and receive me and accept me or reject me. And thinking that I was doing it because I was being considerate about how they feel, but also I wanted to create a healthy environment for both of us or that group to exist. When really and truly, if I show up as me, unapologetically me, without hurting the other person unless they ask for it, right? And there's no apology after that, I can tell you. Um, so I will ask for forgiveness, but not an apology. I will ask for forgiveness. But at that time, no apology. Um, so if people have got that right, but what you don't have the right is try to influence or not don't have the right. You don't have the right to control how they
Control
think
what
or
people think
be.
about you.
I think you don't have that right. And the people who you try to influence or you try to control don't have the right to intervene with your failure and success. They don't own that. You own that. You
Hmm.
celebrate your success. You benefit from your success. And your failure, you are the one that has to wake up every day and look in the mirror and be like, that project didn't go through, that business didn't go through, that relationship didn't go through. I am not a good father. I'm not a good husband. Those are things that you live with. So that is where Brian trying to bring a reference around where is your pain reference from? Because there's a beautiful quote by Dr. Maya Angelou, right? So where is your pain coming from? Where is it referencing? And your failure or the future that you envision for yourself, who's controlling that? And what I mean by that is that Dr. Maya Angelou said, you don't know where you're going until you know where you've been.
Hmm.
Basically, your past shapes your future. And thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Danielle. Danielle Otieno in the building. Danny boy.
It is none of your business.
Love
That
it,
is
love
not
it,
my
love
brother.
it.
That is
Love
my
it.
brother.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. So good to have you here. And I have my big sis in the building as well. Big sis, Steph, Biggie. I love it. So, Sis Steph is saying that an absolute sound perspective to outcomes of life. Thank you so much, Big Sis. I appreciate you being here. And honestly, AQ, I love how, your thought, your journey has led you to having this mind shifts, like this multiple mind shifts, that sets you on this place where it's, for me, the aha for me from what you just shared now is about, like, it's my failure. Well, even though it's not like it didn't work, it's just a curve, right? Or a learning
Yeah.
curve, but it's mine. I'm the one who wakes up with it every day. And truly, there is no one outside that wakes up every morning to come and check, what's your failure meter?
Mm.
Yeah.
Right? But we put ourselves under that pressure because we want to control how they see us,
Yeah.
what they think about us, how
Yeah.
they feel about us. But it is absolutely outside of our control, which brings us back to the very beginning of this conversation. Like, if it's outside of my control, why should I be worrying myself about it?
Yeah.
If it's something that I'm struggling with, it's
Mm.
mine to say, okay, what is this here to teach me? Learn the lessons and grow from it and move. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for bringing
Thank
that
you. Thank you.
perspective. Okay, yes.
Can I
Ah, AQ. Oh my God, you can't believe what just happened.
what happened?
So, my big sis, Stephanie, she is the convener of a conference that happens every year.
Okay.
And she just said, can I plead to have AQ for UR Resilience Summit, please? This
Oh,
is a mega summit. Like it's
wow.
huge. It's huge.
Resilience. Wow. Oh no, that's a powerful word as well. Oh wow, definitely. I'll be
Woo!
honored. It's
We
Sis,
definitely
love
I'm
it.
going to sis, I'm going to connect you. I'm going to connect. Trust me, trust me. I'm the connectologist. Thank
just
you so much. I
Grace.
love it.
Before you, I think Grace wanted to say something. I just wanted to say one line around what you've just summarized and how normalized it's become on global level, not just by men or women, just even our youth. Social media. People can follow you or unfollow you. People can write any, but have you seen the amount of mental stress it has given to our boys and girls across the world, men and women? So this idea of control has gone so far outside that people that I don't know can unfollow me. I'm like, oh my God, you unfollowed me. Why? I've never met them. I've never met the person. So we've just normalized that whole trying
Right.
people pleasing, but how we buy love and how we accept rejection, or how how we try to, just how we try to
Right.
not make, I don't like the word manipulate, but how we try to create
Control. Yeah.
control. It's control. Control what
It's
kind of
control.
love we want and what kind of rejection that we don't want.
Oof. So
Love it.
deep.
I
Yes.
love it. I love it. And I mean, we can go on
Yeah.
and on when it comes to social media and the behavior
Yeah.
around social media. We need like a week to talk about that particular topic. But because you mentioned it slightly, I'm just going to go there. You know how interesting it is that you just mentioned that people need validation from the environment, a lot of validation. You have two followers and you are like, you're not authentic, you're not powerful because you just have few followers. And it's so interesting how we have taken that sort of behavior to how we are accepting ourselves. And since we're speaking to men, you find out that men generally feel powerful and feel that sense of belonging based on their financial status. So I want you to speak to certain things that can help a man listening, probably a man that's on a journey to that level where he's going to, probably get to that level of what the society would term successful. Touch on how men need to detach from that definition of things around them, letting them define who they are. it's very important because I hear it a lot. AK is not here, but I'm sure you're listening.
No,
I hear
no,
it a lot. Men, not feeling, they don't feel that they're man enough because they're in certain stages.
Financial
I need you to
situation.
speak. Yeah, so I need you to speak on. There are other things that can help them see that, look, you're doing the best that you can do per time. So please just speak to that. Thank you.
right. Thank you. And I think it's very important now to really deep dive into this process, format, model, whatever you want to call it, and knowing your
Framework.
yeah, the framework, knowing your alphabet. I love that question that you just asked that stemmed from the social media. But I think my takeaway from this is just understanding the connection as well, of how at global level we normalize this idea of fear of rejection and the fear of not being loved, right? To people that we've not met. With men, and by the way, the suicidal rate, let's be very clear, the numbers is men over 40, right? Generally
Mm,
speaking, but there are variations in different parts of the world. But particularly in Africa and particularly in Kenya, where I'm going to be working with a prominent individual around this movement, is three brothers or uncle or son a day.
what?
Yeah, that's how high the numbers are. 77% we're talking about a day.
Wow.
So as we speak, 3 men somewhere in Africa has committed a suicide. Like,
Mm,
see, to read something like that. And what men need to really, not men, our boys also need to realize when women go through menopause, not that I am a gynecologist or an expert, we talk about how her emotional status changes, right?
right.
But when it comes to men, even if you look at the industry and the marketing that's behind it, is motorbike, the most expensive car, gadget, external. So thank you for asking that question, Grace. So I am now 45 years old, 49. I don't have a motorbike. I don't have a car or the money to buy a car. By the way, I don't even have a driving license. So with me, I'm good with that. That's something that I'm not looking. What else are you going to sell to me? What else
Mm,
can I show that I have made it? Because I'm 49, never had a driving license and never intended to. So now, what can I buy? Buy a wife? Buy a house? I mean, you're always going to sell me something to
something
validate me when
being
really
a
and truly the
success.
person that enjoys the car, the motorbike, is you. And that is where I wanted to bring in around the circle of control, but the how. First of all, is A, the first
Mm,
letter of the alphabet. What am I realizing about my feelings and how am I feeling about this particular situation? Awareness. Awareness is simple as that. What are you aware of? What are you realizing? And you might speak to somebody who you feel safe with, or you might just sit down and ask yourself, like, what am I feeling towards this situation? What am I feeling towards this particular job situation, house, family situation, whatever, whatever the situation is. What am I aware of? And once you're aware of something, my dear, you cannot unsee what you've seen, and you cannot unfeel what you felt, and you cannot unhear what you've heard, regardless what somebody else tells you. So it has to start from there. And we know whatever doesn't make us feel comfortable, we move away from. So that is the action, accountability, acceptance. So the A has a, but it's the awareness. Before you take any action, what am I taking this action for? And B is balance, like we just spoke about in so many levels. It's what I'm feeling really just associated based on my living experience. Am I basing it on global fact? Am I basing it on the industry that I'm in? Am I basing it on to those that I care about, feedback or engagement to those that I care about? So you need to see where that balance is. The balance at micro level, macro level, or is it just you are the judge and the jury? And if that is the case, that's your balance. Because if I'm buying a house, I really don't need the next door neighbor and their cat to tell me whether this house is good for me or not. No. Yeah. So that's the balance of it. And now that Now that you're aware, now that you realize that actually I don't mind information from this person, that person, but I know what's good for me, is then commitment. Commitment to see it through. And this is where then the C has a double meaning, because all the others are just one letter, A, B, right? C has a double meaning. Compassion.
Hmm.
Because commitment, now that you've got the clarity to go ahead and do it, and you're committed to it, yeah, life has its ups and downs, and there are external factors that will influence your commitment, right? Or shape your journey. And there are days that some of those external factors are not going to be in your favor. And it can completely turn your inner light, your external energy, whatever you want to call it, your even enthusiasm, your commitment. And those days is when you need to have a compassion and be like, today I'm switching off. I don't even want to think about Grace or EG and their show. Today that's not on my agenda, you know? So you need to, because commitment with that compassion, you're going to be in a
You
rough
drive.
drive so much so that by the time you get to that success, you don't
You're
even
done.
have the energy you're burnt out.
Hmm.
You don't have the energy, the capacity to enjoy the relationship, to enjoy the date night, to enjoy the family time, or to even enjoy the traveling to whatever that destination is
Hmm.
without compassion. And that compassion is not something that is external, it's compassion for you to say, I did this and I didn't do that, you know? Well, it's compassion for you. And really, the last one, the determination. Who else is involved in deciding and measuring how well this was done, or how well of a price you paid for the house, or how well your wife, your sister, your brother, your family received this? You know, if it's just you living in that house, well, let it be upside down. It's my house. I determine it. You know, let it be. So it's all of it again goes back to that circle of control. But really, I think if I if I if I can ask whoever's listening to really share this, spread this message around the alphabet, keeps it basic, is what we've done at global level is we've intellectualized men's mental health. So much so that if you're not a professor, you cannot speak about it. If you're not a expert, you cannot speak about it. But this time we're talking about three: nephew, uncle,
Hmm.
husband dying a day. No, I don't need an expert. If I can touch somebody with giving them just the base, you know, your alphabet, and not that I'm saying it's got to be a global movement, but just the alphabet message would be my message throughout this month of November. But then, like we always say, I am black every day, but then I'm also man every day. So November cannot be just 1 month. So, I wake up every day black. I wake up every day man. No change there. So I
Hmm.
just one, so focusing on 1 month, and that's why I loved what you guys said about this not being. We're not going to stop talking about this after this November. I hope it becomes a feature in your feature of your conversation going forward. I hope that gives you a sense of how and what I am thinking and what would be useful tool for people rather than speaking from an intellectual point of view, or
Absolutely.
you know what I mean. So I hope that helps
Grace.
with your question, please.
You know, first things first, and I love the fact that you touch that part. You know, the basic things we see every day. I mean, we see these things happen. You know, you're driving and you're seeing someone, looking like they've lost it. Like they're practically just driving, and you can see it. You don't need a professor to tell you that something is not right. Let me tell you something that happened this morning. I was driving, and then the next thing I saw some people crossing, and they were crossing like, you know what, you can hit me if you want. I'm not even going to. I'm like, this is me that when I'm crossing the road, my brother, my sister, no cars. I will make sure there is no car that I can see, and I will make sure I'm running like I'm on a sprint. and there's someone just casually going like that on an express. The body language right now is speaking, is screaming. Some people are, tired and, they can care less. Do I need a professor to tell me that there's something wrong? No. So I'm so happy you mentioned that. And that's one thing we always talk about, in our space as a mental health um, foundation. We tell people that, look, it's your business. It's
Yeah.
no longer for the psychiatrists, the psychologists, and the life coaches, and it is your business. And I'm very passionate when I'm talking about mental health, right? So this is where you'd see me come all alive. And that's because I'm busy working on myself, and I'm saying it's my business. It's my business. And I'll just work on myself. And then I'm not talking about how others should do what they have to do. And I get back into the community, and it's just like I'm just working and overworking and overworking, which is why we're even talking about this in the first place. When men feel that they've been sidelined, and then you see women, there is this thing happening. You see women there, you see women there, you see we're all over the place, we're just everywhere. And you're wondering why. We are coming to terms that, look, we can be everywhere, but we need to carry our men along, and we
Alone.
need to do this together
Hmm.
so that we can collectively get get to the point we want to get to. So I'm sorry,
No,
I
no, no.
immediately
You
you
don't
said
have to
that,
be sorry,
I was
sis.
like,
Like,
oh,
that was
oh
good.
Lord, I'm going all in. Yeah.
No,
So thank you
no,
so
no.
much for simplifying this. And that's because of what you said about, having to make this, use all these big terms. There's a unique conversation for men around this. Okay, it's about you, R4, our sister.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're definitely going to, it's another opportunity, and that's why we do what we do. When you use it. So this is a moment. This is Etiro. You know what I want to say? Your voice is indeed your impact. Woo! Just look at it. If you probably did not come on this show, Coach Steph wouldn't have seen you, and she won't be inviting you. And that's why we are about this. Come and use your voice to touch a
Absolutely.
life. Oh, please,
Absolutely.
I'll just shut up here. Go ahead,
Absolutely.
Etiro.
Can I say two things? 2 points, not two things, 2 points. One, thank you so much for even hearing and seeing it. But then you guys are a coach. There's other people who see it, but then have been overshadowed by a lot of content that doesn't belong to them, right? Um, yes, we do have a big gap within the mental health institute, therapy, and even in coaching for men altogether. And even in media and communication, in terms of platform, you see
Yeah.
quite a lot of movement called Men Cave, and this is only happening because the attention only to this subject only started in 2020, where post 2020, like for men mental health. But this has been going on. It's just that the numbers just went woof, and that is why now you see inequality around the topic of mental health. That's the only place where you see men being highlighted because women are emotionally vulnerable and they're able to express. Let's not generalize, not every woman, because I have some hardcore women. Like you speak to my mom, yeah, my mom will read your rights in 2 minutes. But she, God rest her soul, she was also compassionate. So I've seen both. But women are like nurturers because they're able to bring life to this world. Without women, we wouldn't be here. And there's all the other conversation around men will also. But the person that's carried me for 9 months is a mother, you know? So men speaking emotionally, it's never been commercially viable until recently. And what I wanted to bring in is within that context, and this is where when people say, why are you only focusing on black men? Well, I've explained that part. around our history of slavery and colonization, which really, coming back from Africa recently, is palatable. Like this colonization, the colonial system might have physically been abolished and moved on, but it's physically and mentally alive in people's lives, lived
Yeah.
experiences. There are people who will second guess themselves around the basic of basic. And I'm like, if you have to check this with somebody, what decision do you make for yourself?
Mm.
Right? So, and within that group of professionals, and that's why I wanted to build onto that, there's shortage of men, but then men of color,
Mm.
Yeah.
black men altogether. And I think the percentage is in Americas is where it's the you find most coaches, most therapists, and whatever, because America's got different experience to us. In America, it's not just Americas, but Africa is 0.4
Hmm.
number wise men within that profession and the consumption. So there's a big discrepancy and there's less
Yeah.
of a platform. But what I really loved about what you said is we can all see it. I know cousins, I know nieces, I know nephews. I'm like, who did your life? What happened? Like you were vivacious, vibrant, feisty at times. I much rather have that than this half present person who wants to just second guess himself and double check things and also always seeking validation. What happened to you? Then I
Mm.
realized what happened, especially
Yeah.
in the West. The highest community within school exclusion in the UK, it is our black kids. Incarceration, it's our black men and boys. And we're talking about as young as 15, whatever the crime is, in comparison to other races. So these are all the facts. And so when I came here, I ended up working with the community that's now established 3 years later. But before that, building onto this, the last time I did anything around AQ coaching was when I had an interview with EG 3 years ago. I've not done anything on social media, and this is my first interview. And 3 years later, I am ready to speak because I know much more than I did before. I've seen, I've learned a lot more, and I'm ready to amplify our voices because our voices matter, our lived experiences matter, and we have so many untold stories within our community.
Absolutely.
Within our community. So just wanted to bring all of those things into context, into what you said, just not to validate, but just for other people to hear and realize the discrepancy, not discrimination, discrepancy in the numbers within the profession, but also why we are where we are, why the numbers are not going down. They staying where they are, maybe increasing, but not going down. Anyway,
I
thank
want to
you.
say something before we close out.
Go
I want
on.
to point something out to you, AQ.
Go.
Today is what date? Today is really
You
special.
better stop.
This
You
day
better stop.
is
All
no,
right,
check this out.
you explain it. I'm not
Check,
going on
check,
this one.
check this out, guys. Check this out. Why today is a special day, 18th of
Oh,
November. Now, when I was creating the flyer for the event and everything, and I sent the initial flyer to AQ to say, okay, is this okay? Is this fine? And then the next thing he sent me was a screenshot. I was like, who are you, EJ? What do you want from me? I'm like, what? And AQ sent me a slide deck. A slide deck, oh, not a flyer. Presentation prepared for November the 18th, 2023. Was that 2023?
the
Yes.
last couple of 2020,
Yeah.
The last, yes.
yeah,
November 18th, 2023.
that was the
And
target.
he was planning to launch something called My Voice, My Impact, My
Yeah,
Voice, My
No,
Story.
my
my
voice, my
voice. I
life,
think I saw.
my yeah, go on.
My Voice, My Life. No, no, My Story or something like that.
My voice, my life, my journey, my
My
goals,
Journey.
and my impact. But then that one, I left it out because I thought, whose impact? Who? It's your impact. Yeah, the impact belongs to you. The outcome belongs to you. The same way
Right.
Sister Grace or Coach Grace was saying,
Right.
you are in control. And I wouldn't have been ready 3 years ago, and I wouldn't have been ready 2023. And that's the other point that we need to understand. When it comes to mental health, men, women, whichever gender race you are, it's your time, it's your journey, it's your story, and especially for our brothers and men out there, um, when it's your time, you know it.
Mm.
You know it's not anybody else's time, and you know what works for you, and you know what your body, your mind, your spirit rejects, and you don't have to be this. Like, I don't do yoga, but I do believe in what's right for me because I know my inner voice, and that is your internal GPS. Speak to
Right.
somebody, speak to your last girlfriend, brother. Ask your last girlfriend why it didn't work. She or you will realize, you know, when I met you, something was telling me we're not compatible. But I thought maybe I'm over. No, that something told you she's not the one. That something told her you're not the one. Is that
Mm.
internal GPS that nobody else has that's so unique to you. And that is really how you navigate through your journey in life. Nobody
I
is
love
not
it.
outside
I
in.
love it. And guess what? On this same 18th, your outcoming, Abi, is what we call it now. Your comeback
It is,
is on
it is.
this
It's
same
the launch.
day. It's on this same day that
I
Coach
swear to you.
Steph is joining this conversation and hearing you and
Oh,
saying, no, this man has to be in this conference.
I am so
Like,
I've got
check it out.
goosebumps.
18th November. This is a special date for you. And I am super excited. Thank you for coming out again after 3 years and
Thank you.
coming on our platform. Just like, and it just kind of wraps up what you believe in. Because Grace was saying the other time, when you talked about the acceptance and the validation and all of that, like some
Yeah.
people would not do anything with somebody else or stay because this person has two followers. Yeah, has 10
Yeah.
followers. But you didn't look at that with us.
Oh,
I mean, you could easily have gone check how many subscribers do they have on Insta or on
no,
YouTube,
no.
how many followers do they have on Instagram? 300. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, no,
But you let the connection and your
absolutely,
GPS led you to
absolutely.
saying, you know what, I think this topic is important. The timing is perfect, and I am ready to speak. And this is a perfect time to come out. And I am just super excited for what just happened here today
Thank you.
and what is coming up next. I know you are working on a movement, and I
Yeah.
just want you to leverage this special day to
Mhm.
give life to that movement, say it outside if it's okay with you to just,
Absolutely.
yeah, bring it out for the world to hear. And then, yeah.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you so much. And yes, I couldn't have spoken to any other platform, but you at this time, because you and I have known each other long enough, and our value aligned, and the content and the messaging of what I've seen aligns with me. And my marketing background tells me these numbers, people will unlike you tomorrow. And then they might like you when you have a big celebrity. Like, those numbers you don't control. But I know the content and what we're doing is bigger than us. We are a vessel and serving a community through our voice. And you don't know who's listening. Yeah. I've just quoted Dr. Maya Angelou. Never met the wonderful Dr. Maya Angelou, but her voice and her words that's shaped my life, right? Um,
Mm.
so what we are trying to do, which I definitely would love for you both to be a part of, or your platform to be a part of, because you've said it, and that November is 1 month that is recognized just like any other month, but we mental health issues every day, and we are man every day, and we are black man every day. Those are three things that I know for sure. But also just being able to have the uncomfortable conversation and picking up the signs, because it's not always you have to catch me when I fall. I've already fallen. I'm already in the institution. What do you want?
Yeah.
That's it. By then, they've already medicated me. So I'm like, hello, Grace. Catch me before I fall, right? So one of the biggest thing, and I told you, I'm specifically focusing on black men. And there's no other place other than home, me in Africa. And I'm starting this movement in Africa, starting in Kenya first. and just to have the conversation, because unlike in the Western world where this is maybe culturally normal, might be something spoken of, yeah, it's not normal within our culture. We don't speak about it, and we don't even know the signs, and we don't have enough information and enough resources. And if they are available, how many of them are free? And actually, where do I go? You know what I mean? So there are two things that we will be doing throughout the year, and I would love to again involve you guys. It's, can we have the conversation so you know what it looks like, what it what it can sound like, and how to pick up the signs within yourself and others around you, right? Because I have my bad days. There are days that I'm completely out, but I allow myself to be off that day because my body said so, or my mind said so, right? And also, when I am not able to go past day number 3 and I'm still not getting up, where do I get help from? And
Right.
not everybody can recognize that, and not everybody has people who can recognize it, and not everybody has people that they feel safe with, that they can share with. Because I told you, my uncle crying, I thought there was a death in the family. Like the guy was just crying because his wife passed on not long ago, and he just remembered her.
Mm.
You know, and this is not when I was a teenager. I'm talking about in my late 30s. I'm 49 now.
Wow.
In my late 30s, I'm shocked to see my uncle cry.
Hmm.
Right? So yeah, so the conversation around what is mental health and how to pick up signs, and yeah, and
I
where to
love
get the
that.
information from. And even if you don't know, where can brothers come together and just have the uncomfortable conversation amongst themselves and cry? Because earlier on, when you mentioned the 18th of November, I had tears and I was trying to hold back, let it go. Because I was like, these are my tears. The only relationship that you have with it is you judging my own tears. These are my tears, God given. And if they are
Own
ready
it.
to be, if they want to be cry, yeah, cry.
I like it.
I love it.
But
I
with
think
that,
this is good because Gracie has a foundation that actually, speak to this. So there is a connection here. So I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Yes,
thank
Gracie, you
thank
can
you.
wrap it up.
Okay, I mean, it's we can be
No,
Can't lose at this time.
here for
no.
for
Okay.
Nah.
another 5 minutes to go, and it's been an amazing conversation, and I want to say thank you so much. And I'm sure you're going to come to Nigeria after Kenya. It's Nigeria, and you just go around the world because it is indeed your season to let people hear these things. And like we always say, not everybody can hear it from other people, but some people need to hear from AQ to make it happen for them. So thank you so much. And I hope that when we call you again next time, you will come. And thank you for using your voice for impact.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. And to our
Thank you.
viewers and all the people that joined us, thank you so much. You made it very lively, even though we forgot the part where we would have, wanted someone to, questions from the audience. But this conversation can go on. You can go on under the comment and then you can share your thoughts, what you think can be helpful. You can also drop that, and that would help us. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so very much. AQ, it's been a pleasure, wearing this together. So thank you so much for gracing the show today. And Grace, God bless you. If you are a regular, you will know that Grace is here by grace, right? You can see
Ah.
her voice. Our voice is clogged up, but she just made sure she was here today. So God bless you, sister. I really love you. Thank you so much for
I'll be right
just
back.
always showing up and just being here and doing this. I couldn't have asked for a better partner on this journey. All right, guys. So till we come your way again next week, please remember that we are on a journey to hitting 10,000 subscribers by our next anniversary, which is July 19th, 2025. So we can't do this alone. We are asking because we are not afraid to ask. So we are asking you, please help us hit our goal of getting to 10,000 subscribers. Not because of the numbers, but because we want this impact to truly go wild and far. All right. So please share this link with somebody. If you've gotten any value at all, share this link with somebody. Share it with the man. Okay. Some men, they don't like doing it openly. It's fine. Share it. Then let them go and watch it behind the scene and just think about it. At least they would have heard something that will probably spark up curiosity in them, and then they want to find out more. And I hope that they can follow the work that we're doing. I'm sure we're going to be in communication with AQ once everything is set, so that you can, in case you just feel like speaking to somebody and there's a helpline, you can easily call the helpline and speak to somebody if you don't want to speak with anybody in your vicinity because you feel they wouldn't understand. But I think we really, really need to have those channels where when something, when a thought is bothering you, you have somebody you can call to just, pour out to. And I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed because I am that person. At least I'm one of those person to my sons, and I'm just like blessed beyond measures. Like, whoa, he is. So I'm just grateful. So we all need those channels. So please, we are here. Grace is here. Anytime you need to speak to somebody, she's a therapist, she's also a coach, and she does this. She has a foundation, Friends to Lean On, where she actually opens up the floor for people to have this candid conversation as well in Abuja, if you want to do it in person, or you can also reach out to them online. All right. So please, please, please do not stay silent. Speak out. God bless you. And happy International Men's Day to other men of the world. We love you. We see you. We are rooting for you. God bless you. See you next week.
Wait. The hug for AQ. AQ, here is our hug for you. Oh, here is our hug for you. Thank you. All right. It's our show. Bye.
We forgot one part. All three of us are coaches, but we forgot one part, the consent part.
What?
The consent to ask permission.
Yeah.
Ask permission. Yeah.
Oh.
In different parts of the world, you just got to ask permission. And also when you are asking somebody, do you need help? You don't just blow at them and say, I think you're crazy. No. Just be
cultural intelligence.
I've noticed that you've not been getting
intelligence.
Yeah, you've not been getting. Anyway, I just wanted to say that before we start hugging everybody.
Okay. Is it okay to hug you, AQ? Is it okay to hug you? Is it okay? Now let's do it right. Ooh.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, guys. Next week we're having a panel. Don't miss it. It's going to be fun. All right. So come prepared for that one. See you next week, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.